Good morning is not just a word, it's an action and a belief to live the entire day well. Morning is the time when you set the tone for the rest of the day with Almighty. Let us start our day with prayer song. A warm welcome to everyone for the third day of 10-day state level student development program on advances in microbial sciences. I feel so privileged to welcome our chief guest, Wing Commander Dr. A. Balachandran, Deputy Director, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. It's my pleasure to welcome all the management members for today's session. I also extend my warm welcome to our beloved principal, Dr. B. Subramani, for this event. I welcome all the heads and faculty members from our college and various other colleges. My hearty welcome to all the student participants from our college and other colleges. Once again, I welcome you all. May I now invite Ms. M. Haripriya, Assistant Professor, Department of Microbiology, to introduce our chief guest.
A pleasant morning to one and all present here. I take an immense privilege to introduce our chief guest, Dr. A. Balachandran, Wing Commander, Deputy Director, Corporate and Industrial Relations, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, Coimbatore. He was a Joint Director in the Ministry of Defence, Indian Air Force from the year 2006 to 2010. He was also a Chief Engineer, Industrial Facilities, Indian Air Force from the year 2003 to 2006. He was an engineer officer at Indian Air Force from the year 1986 to July 2003. Thus, 25 enlightening years of experience in the Indian Air Force and 10 years of experience as Deputy Director at Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. Dr. A. Balachandran sir has completed his PhD degree in 2016 in the field of mechanical engineering. Also completed MBA in the Human Resource Management and MBA in Export Management. Trained in France and Greece in Mirage 2000 fighter aircraft and worked in various levels in Indian Air Force as well as in Ministry of Defense. Currently working as Deputy Director at Amrita University, connecting industries and academia for the benefit of faculty, students as well as industrial partners. Managing various projects from the Government of India as well as from industry. Members of various institutional bodies including Aeronautical Society of India, Institution of Engineers, and Educational Panel member of Co-Federation of Indian Industry CII Coimbatore. With Indian Air Force, Dr. A. Balachandran sir was a part of Air Force skydiving team and completed 300 plus jumps from Air Force planes or helicopters. He has taken part in many air shows and won the National Championship Award in 1991. We are highly honored to have you here in this virtual state level student development program, sir. Welcome again, sir.
Thank you, Haripriya. With much honor, I request Wing Commander Dr. A. Balachandran to present on Igniting Minds.
Thank you so much for a wonderful introduction. Sometimes you feel very happy to listen about yourself. That's the great thing one can have in its life.
Yes, sir, it's our pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. Someone calls him as Allah. Someone calls him as Jesus Christ. Somebody else calls him as Lord Shiva. For me, all of them are same, and we call it as supreme power. I always believe that such kind of programs, the Almighty will shower His bountiful blessings on all of us, and especially when we are going through a very tough time. I'm very happy to be part of this program. At the outset, I would like to thank Sri Nehru Maha Vidyalaya College of Arts and Science and Institute of Management for having me here and giving me an opportunity to share my experience as well as some of the motivational points for the students. I believe the students will be from engineering, management, arts and science, or is it only from arts and science and management? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is so clear.
Okay. So
Yes.
the whatever the points which I'll be talking is basically for the student. Doesn't matter which branch they belong to or which is the aspirations they have. With this small introduction, let me share my PowerPoint presentation. It's a very simple one. I did not make it in a bigger way. Just the points so that students will understand comfortably. And let's have a kind of a sharing session there so that I don't keep talking. I want students also to take active participation in this. So as introduced, my name is Wing Commander Dr. A. Balachandran. We proudly put this Wing Commander because this is a very hard-earned title which is given by the government of India. We got commissioned in 1986. Those days, the president used to be Jani Jail Singh. And wonderful time we had with the defense. It's a very wonderful memories. What we are today, I owe everything to Indian Air Force, my land, my Bharat, and it gives us very great pleasure. Whenever someone calls you by your title, Wing Commander. When I shifted my profession to education because we wanted to give it back to the society, I realized education would be the best. And then when we have come into this, then I realized that if you have to continue in the engineering, doctorate degree is also one of the very important ones. So I took the initiative to get into doctorate somewhere around 2012 2013, and I was able to complete by 2016 when I was about 54 55 years old. Why I wanted to mention this is the topic in igniting minds is I would like to talk about myself after these slides and what are the hardships which I have gone through, because it is real and practical and experienced one. So for the students, usually any institution will have their own objectives, because why do we come to engineering or management, or for that matter arts and science or any other degree? Basically, any college would like to facilitate holistic career development for students. That's the main motto, because gone are those days where you have only your theoretical part of it and then you get on to any job. Now it's all skill based, tough competition. So any college will have an idea to develop a holistic career development for a student, and the training is very comprehensive and systematic, because when we talk about training, I always make that into two portions. One is the technical portion, other one is the life skill portions. Let's talk about that in a little later now. And usually we want the students to be very competitive and have competence in core areas, because that is where they are going to apply their knowledge. And to have that, you have to have some innovative practical application. This is just, I put it in a very sketchy way, because each college, each university will have their own objectives, mission, and all those statements. But if you look at all of them, you will find this is something which will come up in that. Okay, let's straight away go to the students. Why students join you know, colleges. Mainly, after our entire research, we find that usually these are the three areas where student would have been having some aspirations. I would say about close to 75 to 80% like to have a very high profile career, uh, which used to be close to about 95% sometime back, about a decade back. Now it has come to about close to about 80% because of the third point, which I put it there, entrepreneurship. Some of them would like to go for higher educations because we know masters will always help out the student, be it an engineering, be it a MBA or any other career. Some of the people usually do within the country, and few of them would like to go outside the country for MS programs and masters programs and arts and science programs. Whatever they do, they will have an aim and objective at the end of the program. They would like to get on to some work or some kind of aim with which they are taking their career aspects. Of course, entrepreneurship with the new governments over the decade, you will find is taking a new shape, and self-employment is also given equal importance to get the students developed while they are in the colleges. So I don't think somebody might join their own business and that kind of stuff, but you will realize that most of the time these are the three areas where a student would like to go. I would like to highlight here that even if you would like to go for any one of these things, there are certain skill sets which are very much required apart from the classroom teaching. So let's go for the training objective and then let's get on to that. As I said, the primary purpose of the training will be to provide specific technical training to enhance the core competencies in the relevant areas, and also to sharpen their communication skills, interpersonal skills, problem solving skills, which we very in short while we see. At the end of the program, students should have a very, very clear focus on what is to be achieved and the confidence, skill, strategy to move the same. So usually the role of the universities, educational institutions have changed over a period of time. It is almost shaping up a career of a person rather than just merely giving away a degree. I'll talk about technical skills later because it is individual and specific to the people. But when you come to the second portion, which is a life skill component, which is more or less similar for almost all the students, with the degree of difficulty varying from branch to branch. Let me first talk on the soft skill because that is the one which in my experience in the last 10 years here, that although students have it, they fail to sharpen that, and hence the career aspects of a job becomes difficult for them over a period of time. So it is equally important for the management, teachers, and students to equally participate in this entire career shaping program, so that apart from the classroom teaching, these also gets equal importance, if not more importance, so that when a student comes out of the college, he is industry ready. If he wants to go for a job, he is ready to take up the higher assignments or going for higher studies. Even he has to go for entrepreneurship, he gets the skills so that he can start his own career. The only difference between going for a job and starting your own enterprise, the two elements which makes them difference is a risk-taking ability and confidence. So those who are ready to take a risk in their life, and those who have a confidence and a patience, who will wait, definitely maybe in the initial 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, they may not be so successful, but after some time you will find they are successful and their career will be skyrocketing. So entrepreneurship is also getting equal importance. So irrespective of you are going to start for entrepreneurship or going for a job or going for higher studies, whatever you are seeing in the slide, is a very important. I'll touch upon probably each and every one of the topics which are given in a very small, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Building self confidence is the basic key figure for the students, but most of the time students feel that I'm not, or I will not be able to do it. Let me tell you a small secret in this. Each and every one of us have got the same skill set. That is what Almighty has given to us, but someone is interested in a particular area, so they are able to develop that and then go ahead. But let me remind you that you have everything in you. Only issue is that you will have to come out and do it in an open manner. In case you fail, doesn't matter, because we know that when we fail, it's the first time that we understand that our thing will not work out the way we are trying, so we'll have to probably go for the second method. You may be failing 5 times, 10 times, 20 times. People will be laughing at each other, but doesn't matter. All the people who are laughing at will be on your feet one day or the other. So the self-confidence is the first key figure in the soft skills. Self-awareness and leadership is also equally important. Maybe leadership at a little later stage, but self-awareness is very important, because when I say self-awareness, it is knowing about yourself. Many of us, when we get into disease, we go to doctor will give a lot of medicines, or some kind of consultancy, but what is your body, what your body can take on, and you are the best doctor for your body. So that's what I'm calling it as self-awareness. Self-awareness does not mean that one know about yourself. It is also inner conscious. It is also till what level you can try it out, and till what level you can go up to your aim and objectives. So setting up big goals and then looking at your self-awareness and connecting both are very important. Coming to communication and interpersonal skill, we all survived in services only purely because of communication and interpersonal. Communication, when I say, I don't mean language. Of course, we communicate through language, but your communication means getting connected to each and every one of you around you. Take a father, for example. He takes a role of father sometimes. He takes a role of a colleague sometimes. He takes a role of an husband sometimes. He takes a role of a son at times. So all those roles, there is a clear distinct communication with each other. So let us understand communication. Language is important, but language alone is the one for communication. Communicating means getting connected. So a lot of, especially for those MBA students, when companies come for picking up, earlier days it used to be, for engineering student, it used to be around 80-20%. When I say 80% engineering students, the companies see the professional skills 80%, and 20% are whatever we call it as soft skills. That's all about a decade, 2 decades ago. But now today, if anyone comes for engineering, almost they look for about 60-40%. If you are good in your professional and above average, it is fine with them. But the all other, what we have listed here, takes equal importance, close to about 40%, where you represent your company. But if you take MBA student, it's almost 50-50, I would say. 50% you are into your professional, and 50% are the ones whatever we have put up here, because you represent your company. Company may be good, bad, no one knows, but the way you behave yourself in a community, the way you communicate with the people, your mannerism, all those things reflects your company, and you are the true representative of your company. So this communication and interpersonal skills are very important. You should know how to disagree with the people in a silent manner. There is no need to get anger. There is no need to raise your voice. There is no need to fight with each other. You can be still firm. You can agree to disagree. You can disagree to agree. All those things are part and parcel of life. But the disagreement does not mean that you will hate the individuality and get on to personal one-on-one. All of us, let us remind ourselves that we spend close to 8 hours with our family, supposed to be 8 hours in your business and 8 hours sleep. So most of us think that office is our main aim, which is not so. You have interpersonal relationship in your office, in your family, in your colleagues, and whomsoever you meet with each other. If someone finds you as a very, very calm and quiet person but mean business, I think your interpersonal relationship is good. So there are a lot of methods by which you can develop yourself to get onto this interpersonal relationship. A lot of exercises are there. Anyone who are interested, I will be able to guide you in this specially communication and interpersonal skill in a big manner. Group discussions, when any company comes for selecting the people, usually the way they come for selection is first is a written test, which is usually taking place just to check your professional knowledge. Someone checks this verbal and aptitude skills as well as part of the written test. After the written test, for especially MBA students, most of the time it is on the group discussions. When we say group discussions, many of you might be thinking this group discussions mean that we should know each and everything about the topic. But I would slightly differ from there. If you read papers, if you have a common sense and looking around you what is happening, I think you have a better control of your topic. As we said, in the communication, language plays an important role, but it is not only the role. Similarly, in the group discussions, topics means very important, but the topic alone is not going to play a bigger role. Very simple. Suppose anybody giving a topic like today, there is a problem in the bills which are passed for the farmers, or any topic you take. You should have the concept behind the topic, but the dynamics of group discussions are completely different. There will be some 5 people, 10 people, 20 people will be part of the discussions. There is a huge amount of learning you can get from the people. For example, if you have started your own talk and then someone is disagreeing, there are methods by which you can disagree, as I said, in the interpersonal. For example, if person A speaks in favor of a topic, and I am person B, I am not in favor of the topic, the disagreement can be as comfortable as possible. That's the beauty of group discussions. You can disagree. Probably you praise that person first. I completely, gone through whatever person A has spoken, and I'm very happy that he has spoken so very well. But I have a kind of a little disagreement, or deviate a little from what he has said. While he said so much, probably I feel for the topic these are the important points, and I'm happy that my friend brought out these points. But I feel these are the ones which are very, very important than the points which are brought out by him. So that is one method. Or you can start yours as a second person. You can start straight away and tell them, I don't agree with my friend, and then you can start. Both mean same, but the way you put across, people will be happy. And someone will correct you in the group discussions, and then you have to use your common sense. Suppose you have spoken something which is not getting connected, someone has spoken better, which is against your point, you can change yourself. Absolutely. That's called flexibility. Companies look forward for flexibility, because they do an annual plan, they go for an annual plan, but something happens in between, there is a plan B. So similarly, if someone has connected, you can say that I was thinking about this point in this manner, but after my friend C has spoken on this, I tend to agree with him. Probably I concepted my talk in this level, but after listening to him, I feel this is the point. So these are some of very, very important points. And there is something which I talk as a group dynamics, as I said, that the entire group has to come to a common conclusion at the end of the group discussions. You can't leave it at an open stage, because each group reflects their own communication skills and interpersonal skills. So that's something which MBA students have to look forward, and then jotted out your points, put it in a manner which is acceptable to the team. That's very, very important. Most important, wait for your chance. There are some group discussion which are aggressive, some group discussions which are little less aggressive. So you will have to see the company profiles, and what kind of, is it for marketing and is a big company and then they go for an aggressive marketing. Probably you can't be very, very sober in your group discussions, because you will become a misfit for that company, probably, if it is a sober company. So it's all depends on what kind of company, what kind of role they are looking up, and what kind of activity they are looking in you, and what are the kind of skill set they are looking in you. Public speaking, it's a wonderful one. Many of us feel that we know each other, but the moment you go and stand alone, taking a mic in a group, you will realize that where we stand. It has to come consistently, slowly, gradually, practice, and then only we will be able to come to a level where we can talk with bold and confidence. So public speaking is again a very, very important art of speaking, and again it's a big topic, but for the time, I just wanted to leave it thinking on you that public speaking is as equal as group discussions. Corporate etiquette is nowadays gaining a very, very high value in terms of soft skills, because we have been having our own culture. You will find most of the owners of the businesses come in our own dresses, and then which was a very, very proud moment for us. And then the nationally we have been doing business, it was quite acceptable in all times. Now slowly the things are changing. Multinationals are coming into picture. While we have to maintain our culture, there are certain times that the common social evenings where we have to reflect our corporate and get on to that. When I say reflect to corporate, I'm not pointing out big corporates. I'm saying that it's our own business in a manner which is suiting to each and every one of us. Usually, most of the businesses takes place through this kind of networking, and for an MBA student, networking is very, very important. So in a networking, when you are in a group, you should be straight away acceptable. I don't talk about the dress and look. I talk on the way you behave. That is what I call it as corporate etiquette. The way you treat your colleagues, all those things are very, very important. Some senior people are there, ladies are there, kids are there. There are so many people around you, that whether you are going for dining hall where you are picking up your plate, or you're going for taking a second serve in your food, or there is a sequence, unwritten laws which are there in this world. As people say that ladies is first, before that kids, probably senior people, and then probably you and me. So this is the line which usually people tend to take it. And mind you that each and every one is noticing at you on all these aspects. Many people may not point out what you do, but please be assured that each and every one around you is looking in a manner, the way you take, the way you behave, the way you conduct yourself in an open forum. So this becomes a very, very important issue nowadays. CV writing, I can talk hours and hours on CV writing, especially for the engineering and MBA student, because let's take a very 2 minutes small scenario where especially the scenario which are now here, you're not being presented in front of a company. Your only resume goes as the first level of introduction about yourself into a any company for that matter. So let's see that 100 people. Let's say you take your own college. Let's say you are about 50 MBA students, and all of us are applying for a marketing job, for example. In a CV, you will find almost some of the columns which are very, very common to each and every one of you. So like you, the person who is going to select also will have a equally tough time, and then he is looking for some bright, sparklings somewhere in your CV. So let's take a person A and let's take a person B. Let's talk about a person A now. So you have finished your engineering probably, and then you have joined MBA. The reason to join MBA could be very many things. You must have not got a job, therefore you got into MBA, or you want to have a bright career in the marketing side, not on the engineering side. So probably you have taken MBA and joined. And in the last 4 years of your engineering, you have 10 standard mark, you have 12 standard mark, you have 4-year engineering mark, which is usually anyone will have. And then now you have joined MBA, and then you have completed with your semester systems and things like that. And then you have your hobbies and skills and things like that. Mind you, whatever I spoke, well, each and everyone will have. So what is that unique feature in your CV which is standing out to show it to the company that he is going to be asset for our company, at least in paper to start with? Let's forget that, while going through the practical interview, you will get exposed. That is a different issue altogether. But in the CV writing, at least you should know that, where are you standing for? So person A, if he has gone through a similar kind of a thing and has not added any skill sets other than what the program he has joined, his CV will be, really little, sober, or there is nothing much which, you can make out of it. Let's take a person, plan B on the other hand. While he is in the college, whether being in engineering or arts and science, for whatever that matter, he has been a sportsman and he has been representing colleges at various levels. He is probably, taken part in various activities of the colleges, like this national, forums and things like that. And then he also represents colleges for various events which are taking place as a competition in the other colleges, and he won laurels and he won prizes and things like that. And then when he has joined MBA, he has looked up, and then probably he felt that he would like to go on marketing on an international level. So he has learned Spanish or German or Japanese, some additional language, and he also picked up Excel program in a different manner, or he has picked up some skill sets of software and hardware, and then that is being reflected. Any company would like to have person B. In a single nutshell, if you work for 10 to 12 hours a day, apart from spending 8 hours on your curriculum and content, additional 4 hours on other things, I think at the end of 6 years, I'm saying engineering 4 years plus 2 years MBA, or maybe 3 years arts and science plus 2 years of MBA. In this 5 years, your CV will be very, very heavy. So people would look forward for such kind of person. So time management becomes very, very important. That's why I'm connecting this time management to CV writing, because management is the key factor, especially for the MBA students and engineering students, because today you have ample of opportunity for the technology and technical side. But if you don't get on to what is your aim and shaping up our skills during your this 4 to 5 years of career, you will find yourself in a very, very difficult situation when the companies start coming for interviews. Mock interview, of course, that's from the college side. They will expose you to such kind of situation, pressure situations, asking questions because you have written something in the CV, and then people, when they try to do a check on yes, what you have written is the one actually you are reflecting, suddenly you will find there is a mismatch. So the mismatch should be as minimum as possible, for which this mock interviews are helping you out. Listening skills, probably most of us has to have this skill, because uh, it's a very, very fantastic skills to get developed, because when you listen to the people, you will get connected to them, as I said, interpersonal and communication. Listening skills is equally required for each and every one of us. Let's say we are in a group given a task to do it. Leader can any style of leadership, autocratic, bureaucratic, whatever the method they want to follow it up. but they have to listen to their subordinates. As I said, gone are those days that you dictate a term and get the job done, for which you have to be professionally very, very highly skilled person, which I would say in the world as on today, not more than 2% people have such kind of skills. So most of the work which are done now in the companies are on a group type. Any take a project, you will find many people are around you. So you will have to put across your problems to him. They will also have to put across problems to you. So each and every one of us have to understand here for that. This listening skill is very, very important. So I won't talk much on verbal skills and aptitude skills. Verbal skills are basically vocabulary, grammar, and correct usage. Probably even people have gone through such a big training time over the life, but still we found that some of the students require a lot of attention. So we do in the verbal side. Aptitude is a very, very, I would put it most of the time on a common sense, because all of us have gone through some portion of mathematics. This is not mathematics alone. It is all connected to your thinking process, because as you said that for a problem there could be multiple solutions. What you do today may not be fair for about a week or 10 days later. What you feel is right today, maybe after 1 year, 2 years, that may not be right, because the situations and scenarios have changed. Therefore, I always believe that if you have a basic fundamental skills of whatever I put it in this one slide, this is the only slide which I want to talk it much more, and probably another one more slide where individually, since the topic is igniting mind, I would like to spend about 5 minutes on that portion, so that match up this and the other slide which I'm going to show, you will realize where you are, and then you will be able to do a roadmap of yourself with the guidance from the faculty members. This I've already spoken. Industry readiness is a key factor nowadays, because almost the last year, most of the projects are getting into industry readiness, where you will find, as I said, mock interview, group discussions, experts from the industry coming and talking to you, because our teachers and our faculty members can give you only the basic fundamentals. Any teaching learning process, it is very fair for the faculty member as well as for the students, and in the dynamic situations it keeps changing. Gone are those days where we used to sit in the class and only take a class. Today we have been forced to make sure that we are at different places, yet get connected with the same concept and same kind of understanding. Real-time industry projects is also a key factor, where you will learn, where you will assimilate what has been taught to you in the classes and what you have understood, and what you have been taught, what you have understood. Are you able to build up something little bigger on that aspect? So this is also something which can be tested through the real industry project. So I'm sure all the colleges will send you for summer training, winter training, and all those aspects. I would always look out for students to come back from the industries and give their own opinion as to what they have found in industry. Is it relevant, or is it matching with their career aspirations, or is it not that they are looking up and that is something else and things of that nature? You will understand yourself only when you go to industry competitions and internships, because in the college you are in a small fray. When you get out of the college and go to bigger world in an open place, you will find the competitions are very high. Your understandings are as limited as smaller. So you have to make sure that you are able to compete in that kind of aspects. I would like to give you a small examples on all these aspects. We were in the national level, you could do wonderful things, but when you get on to an international level, first the understanding of the people itself takes quite some time, and you can't straight away start jumping onto a conclusion and start doing it. So probably you'll have to underdog for some time. So your exposure to the international becomes very, very important, where the industry competitions and the internships are the ones which gives you these kind of exposures. Certification programs, because nowadays apart from what is being done in the colleges, there are a lot of certification programs which are available on online, for developing the skills, and then any student can pick up anything, because most of them are available free of cost. You don't have to pay anything for it. And then if you can do some this kind of certification program, for example, I would always recommend to the engineering students, even the MBA students, Coursera programs, where it is the content and curriculums are developed at a very, very high level, and you go through the process, you get the certification. For example, if you are into a business where you want to know about financial things, you can get onto a Coursera and take a program on that and do it successfully in 8 weeks, 12 weeks. You get a certificate, and you say, I am a Coursera certified person. People will understand who you are. So these are some of the aspects which you will have to look up for preparation on the industry readiness side. So this is the last slide, which I would like to spend about 5 minutes with all of you, because this is this we have prepared over a period of time, because we in a class get about 60-70 students. Although we do a split class of about 30-35 students, we understand that each and every student is individually different from the other student. I cannot compare person A and person B. That is what my understanding in the last 10 years. Each student have their own aspirations. Each student have his own personality profile. So we'll have to get connected and then bring the best out of the student. And the student must know that I am of this nature, so that he can see whether what is his career aspects and what is his aspirations, whether it is getting matched or not. So what usually we have to do is that, especially from the student as well as for the faculty members, I am talking about it. The one which you are given is a process. Aspiration is there for each and every one of us. Let's not deny that factor. The aspiration differ in degree and difficulty. That's why when we started, I said that many of the students join to get a good job. But getting a good job is not the end of their career. They have to sustain the interest in the job they are doing, and it has to give a kind of a map for him to go in his own life career aspects. And as I said, the aspirations keep changing time to time, if not very early and urgent. Career interest and aspirations will have to match each other, and you will have to see a personality profile for a student as well. Now there are various tools available to test this personality profile. So if do this, you will find aspiration, career interest, and personality profile are matching to each other. If these three things get matched, the leftover is only a core value. Being member from the armed forces, for us, core value was the first. Forget aspiration, forget career interest, and forget personality profile. If my core values are straight and simple forward, I would give some examples. Honesty. There is nothing called you can measure honesty in a scale of 0 to 10. Either you are honest or you are dishonest. As simple as that. Integrity. Either you are integrated to your wherever you are, or you are not integrated. You can't say that I am 50% integrated to the company. There are so many aspects on this. So sense of belongingness, for that example. If I don't feel that I am part of the organization where I am working, all your aspirations, career interest, and personality profiles have got no meaning. Because today, there is no direct measure in terms of finance about a person. People do leave company, people do join the company. You will know their loss or gain only after spending certain amount of time, and after the gentleman has come and taken over and did some changes which started coming in the profit measure. So for me, there is no direct measure today how you can value a person. But I can tell you, if a person's core values are intact, you can measure a person. He becomes the part of the organization, and of course, why not? He is the organization. So that is why, while we put aspiration, career interest, and personality profile, these core values, which are very, very silent in all of us, also plays equal importance for a student. Of course, I spoke on special skills, multiple intelligence, and life skill for last about 45 minutes. So all this put together on a person, there have to be a SWOT analysis, and from there only you will be able to make out a career goal for a student. So if I mean, of course, this will be very helpful if you believe some of the faculty members where you can open up yourself, do talk to them, but before you go to them, five or six topics which I'm talking, you should be very clear in that. So aspirations, you should be very clear. Career interests, you can, of course, they can keep changing, but it doesn't change overnight. So first, to start with, you have to have some kind of this integrated with the core values and the skill sets, and then do a SWOT analysis and set up a career goal. Now, since you have set up a career goal, for example, I will talk about an MBA student. Let's say a person joined MBA and marketing, and we would always ask a question to him: where do you look up yourself after about 5 years? I would always get an answer from a student that I will be either vice president or president of a company, or some of them will be blank because they have not thought over what will be myself after 5 years. I'm not saying that you'll have to do a bigger plan, but there have to be something on the basket on your line. Don't talk philosophy to me at this stage, sir. Nobody knows what is going to happen after 5 years. For that matter, none of us knows what is going to happen tomorrow. Do we know that in March 2020, we will be like this? None of us know. When people thought May, June will be okay, nothing happened. We all struggled for March, April, May. All of us have been shattered around the world. But someone has got up from that seat and started thinking, okay, I have to accept this life. Lord, let me accept this life, and what is the best I can do it? Online classes. Your faculty members must have thrown the mobile phone when they find you in the class with the mobile phone. Now look at after 3 months, all the faculty members want you with the mobile phone in the class. That is life. That is change. So we don't know what is going to happen, but we will have to have some plan action. So you have a career goal, you have an action plan, and then start executing. While executing, you will find if whatever the 6-7 tabular columns you have done better, your execution will be there maybe about 70-80% in a perfect manner, and probably review could be only for about 10-20%. But the top portion is not in a bigger manner. Then you will find in the action plan as well as execution, a lot of confusions are there. And today I find I would put around close to 50-60% of the students are in the career confusion part, because they have not thought of what I am supposed to be after 5 years, after 10 years, or what is my aim, what is in it for me in this world, where do I stand, what I want to do in my life. We have not sparkled that in the minds of student. I am equally blaming myself as a faculty member, maybe because of numbers. Maybe you are not able to give concentration to each and every one of in the school, in every one of the student in the class. But overall, you are trying to do your in a better manner to the student community. Probably it is a kind of a lag from the student also, because he is not just opening himself to any faculty member. What is his aspiration? What do you want to do after some time? He is not putting himself along with the faculty member as mentor, guide, or whatever you want to call it. This all fragrance name. But one thing is very clear, that a student has to open up himself to his guru, and guru has to accept the student as part of him. Then you will find whatever the smaller issues which we are talking of will vanish in no manner. And in this process, you will find as a faculty members, we are also learning much better, and the students are also getting empowered as they way want. When a student gets a job, please remember that one family is saved. When students don't get a job, we are creating a person where his aspirations are not met, and therefore psychologically is getting affected, and he feels he is not very good in this world, which is not the truth, because God has given each and every one of us equal special skills. If you are born here, till our death. We are going to be bound to be on this earth. Nobody can change that. So let us understand this process in a better manner. And my request always to the faculty members is, please take this slide as very serious slide, and make sure that, if not to 100% students, those students who are coming forward to you, please help them in understanding themselves. Then our jobs becomes very easy. And my request to the student community is, please open up yourself. You have paid some amount of fee. You have joined college not to spend time. Every day we have to add certain values to our life, and that is how each and every one of us can become better day by day. If your aspiration is to get a job at the end of 3 years or 4 years, or whatever the number of years of the program in which you have joined, you must be very clear when you are coming out of the college, you must be having a job in your hand. It is not that only the college will get you a job. There are many open jobs also available where you can apply yourself as well. But until unless you develop yourself during the process of that 3 years, 4 years, once you miss the bus and then you go to the next step, the job process become difficult and difficult, and day by day. Same is the case for entrepreneurship as well. A person who has got right amount of skill set, right amount of career goal path, I have not come across any student who has failed in their life. Probably it has got mismatched a little bit here and there, but they have taken that with a pinch of salt and exceptionally done well. So these are some of the issues which I just wanted to share with the students, so that they understand the process, they understand the platform on which they are standing, and they understand that, okay, this is how I am going to proceed, and if I'm not going to proceed in this manner, this is how I am supposed to be part of the entire life skill program. I put the thank you slide, but before that, I just wanted to spend another 2 minutes on how I have gone through my life, because many of the students, I always love to tell them that what is supposed to be life, which usually when I talk to students, I finish up with my life as own examples, and I'll not take more than probably about 2 to 3 minutes. I am a very, very simple person with a very simple background. We all, gone through the same middle life family, and then, by luck, I got into engineering because usually we love playing. We, go around. So we, most of our life have gone through the sports part of life, and we, at least I fail to understand what is the importance of, getting educated. The biggest thing which I hated in my life is education. So when we started our life, all very basic, comfortable. Then I joined in the arts and science college, but I've written a engineering entrance exam, and in the first list it was not there, and the last list of reserve list there were about 500 people, and my name was in 493. So almost lost the hope. But then in the month of November or somewhere, where the classes are starting in June, I got called and joined Government College of Technology, Coimbatore, and only attended first semester 12 days, and exams came, and then all periodicals you are washed off, and then 2 arrears. People laugh at you because keeping arrears those days is unheard. Maybe probably very few, five or six students will have arrears. And then from there we started doing. And since you are not interested in the getting educated, I would say that you have been always running around for football or hockey or cricket, and try to keep only minimum attendance in the class and hang around in the college because you are also part of college. Did not learn engineering. That's a simple thing which I wanted to mention. But then you had a lot of flair. You wanted to join armed forces. Luckily, I got Army, Air Force, Navy. I preferred to join Air Force, and then joined Air Force Technical College, where 113 people came all over the country. Now your problems have got manifold because you don't have any aim in life. You just wanted to join armed forces. You don't even know what is armed forces. The people around you are all very highly educated. Most importantly, they speak Hindi, which a word you don't understand. English is anyway, it's not there in your life. So you feel very insecure. underconfident, and just try to pass the time. Out of 113, probably there are two groups. One is mechanical group and another is electronics group. In the 63 of electronics, probably you will find you are somewhere around 59, 60, 61, and things like that. But life doesn't leave you. I want to join the helicopter scheme, but luck would have got it. I've got into a fighter scheme, so I don't want to touch the plane. So I started going for the skydiving. What not aware where you are going and joining.
Live streaming is on.
When you have joined a fighter stream where 18 planes are around you, and I would like to tell you each and every plane those days when we were in the life is around 400 crores. Now 18 planes are thrown around you, 700 people are working under you, 18 pilots are going to take the plane in which you have signed as they are fully fit for flying. The fear got into us first time in the life. You are zero in engineering, and then of course the people work under you are better, so they help you out, and then you want to learn now, but your ego doesn't permit you to learn because you are an engineer and the people working under you don't think that they know much better. I'm sorry to say they know much better than me, and they are professionals in their own stream. You have to put all the streams together to make the aircraft flying. Now here comes pilot, he goes for flying, comes back, he writes some snag, some problem in the aircraft, and then you try to attempt, it doesn't get well. So one of the day, I realized a pilot, telling her he is not a good engineer, why are you keeping him in the squadron? So that is the first hit you got in your life. So here is a person, professional, commenting on you, on your own professional, that you are not good. Now imagine, what is your career aspiration? You want to join Air Force? Joined. You are getting a good salary. You are commissioned officer of Government of India, Class 1 Gazetted Officer. Is it end of the day? No. Somebody has hurt your professional ego. You start learning in that. Then I realized the kind of mistakes I've committed in my life. Go casual guy. Now I suddenly realized I am supposed to be a serious person, responsible person, a colleague where people must love me and give me respect for my area of work. So we started learning from there. And then we realized the same pilot came and asked sorry to me for the statement which he made. So this I'm saying because it hurts each and every one of us when someone tells us that we are not confident or we are underconfident. So this is something which we'll have to learn on this. Then from there, it is all, on and on. I did my MTech, I did my MBA, because whenever we get a new assignment, I want to learn first, what is it? Although I did not want to learn, God has put me in a path where learning has become lifelong. So when we started doing that, whenever we get posted to a new place, there is a new assignment. First, I want to get my fundamental basics right so that I don't commit mistake on my basic fundamentals. Then, people help you out, and then, your career. And we grown up to wing commander and cleared a lot of boards. Air Force has given a lot of life, and we could have continued on that, but because of our personal, some of the issues, I have to come out. And then I wanted to settle down only in Coimbatore. So I came to Amrita, and Amrita called me with open hands. And last 10 years, I'm here. Initially, I took up learning and development for the student because that is the area where I was lacking, and I developed myself in Air Force. And therefore, I wanted to give back to the students, and I started doing that. Now I have been given an additional responsibility of corporate relations as well. Mind you, engineering, most of the time I learned in Tamil. After coming to Air Force, I can't talk in Tamil because very simple. I can speak only to fight and guys who are from Tamil Nadu. Rest are all from other parts of the country. So here is a survival. Therefore, I started learning English in a manner the way it is supposed to be, and then of course Hindi and things like that, so that we can communicate to the people, so that interpersonal relationship is good. I just wanted to finish with the last statement that look up only yourself. Don't look up anybody else, but don't give up your personal respect. If you have to have your personal respect, you have to be good in your professional. You have to be humble. People have to respect you. People have to take you as colleague. People have to accept you. If people have to accept you, you have to have basic skill. If you are joining an organization pays you, therefore they expect certain thing out of you. And if you don't show that, obviously, people will not accept you. All of us live and die, but what is the mark which we leave on this earth is something which each and every one of you have to ponder over it. And I'm sure the last 1 hour which I've been talking to you, I'm sure that out of many of you have been listening to you, some of you take this as a very serious note, and then start I understand it's a live streaming in the YouTube. If you could catch up and then see that some of the points is very relevant to your life, and then you modify your life in such a manner where you are the citizen of this country, I will be very helpful. I'm very happy that college has given me this opportunity to share my little experience and igniting your minds. I think I should have fairly done this job. I'm not sure whether I've done a justice to the job which is given to me, but I'm sure I made an attempt to make sure that all of you are on board with me and become a good citizens. Whatever I spoke, it's all from Almighty. I don't think I've spoken on my own, so I submit the entire whatever I spoke as flowers to the Almighty's feet. Let this Almighty help all of us to overcome this problem, which is especially we are in a very, very short time, and excel in our life and be ready to take on any kind of this challenge which comes in the future as well. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Sir?
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Sir, we have some questions from our students.
Absolutely. I'm open for question and answer sessions.
Yes, sir. They have posted queries in the chat box. Shall I proceed, sir?
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, a student asked, what is your suggestion on business after 2 or 3 years of working? Is this time period is enough to start a business?
I would say it's a wonderful question, because many of the students would like to get a little exposure on the corporate and company affairs, and then they want to start their own business. Only one caution, as I said, that business is all about risk-taking ability. If you are joining companies, don't allow this fire to die down, because when you join company and we are going to work for 2-3 years, as I said, your objective should be to learn the tricks and trades of the business, not to get into the comfort zone on the business. If you get into the comfort zone and accept that as your life, then after 2 or 3 years, the fire in which you have been today will not be there. So keep this fire on. It's a very good suggestion that learn the basic fundamentals of job and then get on to the business. Absolutely, there is no issue, because many people have joined the business, but they are not able to sustain the business because the changes are there. But if you are in a big corporates or any one of the smaller companies, you will understand almost all the traits, because you may be a technical guy, but you have to understand HR, you will have to understand finance, you'll have to understand marketing, you will have to understand the external environment. All those things don't come in a basket of biscuits. So you will have to learn all those things. I think about 3 years is a fair time to learn and understand all those things. But then your aim should not get died down. That's a simple point.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have so many questions in order. Shall I proceed, sir?
Yeah, please. Even if it continues for another hour, I'm very happy. I'm not in a hurry. Please, you can do it as much as possible within whatever constraints from your side.
Thank you, sir. So next question is how to get rid of anxiety and panic.
Yeah, this is something which one has to make their own method, because I cannot comment you on a on a very common this is how the numericals can be solved. Simple example I'll tell you. I have a student of engineering here, 9.8. Any company out of 10, I'm saying, very bright student, girl student, and She clears. Any company comes, as we said, that first is the written test, second group discussions, then there is a technical interview and HR interview. Sometimes technical and HR interviews are put together. This girl will do well in the written exam. This girl will do very good in group discussions. If it is a technical round, she does very well. But the moment she goes into HR, she gets thrown out. Almost about 6 companies has happened in that manner. Since we have a very robust system here of monitoring the students and give them immediate small remedial measures. I happened to sit with her and talk to her. Then I realized there are 2 things which are going against her. One is HR guys usually ask a question that what is your, what is there in us, means in the company, that you are coming to our company. Why are you joining our company? Usually, the first answer this girl used to give is very simple. I want to get experience, as someone has asked, for 2 or 3 years, and then I would like to go for higher studies or start my own business. HR guys, mind you, they are the people who will capture you on these things. Technical guys are not like that. Technical will see only your technicality and forget you. But whereas HR guys will look at, are you suitable to the company? What is the job profile? Now, as per this company, if you have to be billable when I say that you are in a position to do the job on your own, it takes 2 years. So the first question, this 2 years, when she learns and ready to give for the company, she is out of that company. That is one. Then the second thing, what you spoke about, is the anxiety. The anxiety kills her very badly, because the moment first you go and sit in in front of someone, your mind start blabbering. You start thinking about all the unwanted things which are happening in the life, and you are nervous. One has to develop a mechanism to kill that. And the person who has posted the question, you can share my mobile number and mail ID. I'll be able to help him out. Very simple methods are there. For example, many people in life go to some gurus and get a mantra. For example, in I would say in Hindu, Namah Shivaya, for example. When people meet each other, they say Namah Shivaya. When in the Muslim side, Salam Alaikum, something like that, they tell us. So the moment you go and sit in front of anyone, till such time these guys look at your profile, look at your resume, and then start posing you the first question, there is a time gap. And that time gap looks like years to me, years to you. You have to make them to seconds. How do you do it? Get on to these mantras. Get on to the good things in life. There are some good interviewers who will make you comfortable, but don't expect that from an interviewer. If I am going to be an interviewer for you, I will make you comfortable. I will not go directly to the questions. I will ask you, who are you? Where are you? Are you comfortable? If I find that you are nervous, I'll give you a cup of tea or glass of water. Then I will, because the interview process is not to make a person anxiety or nervous. Interview process is a process where we identify, you are given something in set of writing to me. I just want to correlate and see that yes, you have in it. That's it. But people make this process such a complicated process, throw 100% unexpected anxieties on the students, put him in a spin whether you are selected or not selected. I don't agree with those kinds of methods. It is the equal opportunity to be given to the student. Student have to become calm and quiet, for which he also have to mentally prepare and come up. So there are various methods by which we can overcome fear, anxiety, and there are connected 2-3 points into that. People suddenly will start sweating sitting inside the room, being a AC room and things like that. Don't expose yourself to the interviewer, because this is what I'm calling it as soft skills. You are good in your technical. As I said, 9.8. Who can get 9.8 nowadays just like that? She is good student, but then on the soft skill side, she used to lose it all. So there are methods to cut short. There are methods we can practice it. I'm very happy to help you out.
Yes, sir. So next question. A question from Hajibur Rahman. Is it fine to be placed in temporary government jobs for a certain period while studying?
See, again, it all depends on what is your aim in life. I am putting job as job, be it temporary, be it permanent, be it a government job, be it a private job, be it your own business. They are different varieties, but for me, all means same, whether it is a temporary job. So you have to first very clearly define what is your expectation in life. What is the expectation? That should be very, very clear. And then are you mapping yourself to that expectation? Are you developing your skill set to that? There are time frames. As I said, aptitude. Many people say, sir, aptitude, I will fail. I used to ask them why. For me, mathematics I might do in 5 minutes. For you, you may do in 10 minutes. But at the end of the day, please remember, both of us will do. So there is no change that both will get an answer. So if the time is given as 2 minutes, someone could finish in 1 minute, somebody will take 4 minutes. So the person who is taking 4 minutes has to do a lot more practice to cut short that time and get down to 2 minutes. That is simple, as simple as that. So if you have to have some temporary jobs or government jobs and things like that, what is the time period you will only have to define. But to define that, what is the other skill set you're looking forward to get connected to your life aspirations. Sometimes you are saying 2 years temporary. Temporary could be 2 years, 3 years, it could be even 10 years. There are people who work to get a career shape for 10 years, 8 years. Take a doctor, for example. Doctor MBBS, 4 years medicine. He doesn't start practicing straight away. A doctor, to become a doctor, it takes about 10 years. He has to do MS or he has to do some specialization. Then he has to get on to subspecialization. Then he has to be under some doctor for 1 or 2 years. Then he becomes a doctor. So if at the end of age of say 17 or 18 or 19, you have joined, in the stream of doctor, you will become a doctor only after 30. Do you have this 10 years to keep that fire live? That's the simple question you have to answer. If you're able to do that in 1 year, don't look up for this temporary jobs. Focus on your major career. But if you are a very average student where you will take time to learn certain things and then do, where your financial aspects will not allow you to, 3-4 years to run just like that, take up a job parallelly, do that. But as I said, for the first person, don't let the fire on the first aspect get killed. That's the simple answer.
So next question, how to have emotional balance in public?
Emotional intelligence is one, emotional balance is one. You will find, I would put some of the actors into this picture. We have seen the actors in the movie as a brave guy, going and even 1,000 people coming, he will hit and things like that. But in a real scenario on a platform, you will find for smaller things they start crying. I've seen various programs where a very, very touchy small scenes comes in the front. They start, the tears will come from their eyes. Let's understand first, we are all human beings. Somebody is tough emotionally, somebody is not tough emotionally. Emotional intelligence only plays a major role. Emotional per se is connected to the job in which you are attached. For example, if you are a let's say general manager of a company, your emotional has to be under control. There are, again, as I said, there are various methods. You will get emotional, but it is nothing wrong in getting emotional, but how fast we are coming out of that is the major question which many of us fail to understand. For example, if there is some mishap has happened in the factory, rather than sitting and crying there or being emotional about it, you must jump into what is the next step. Whereas the colleagues or the person who are working near him will start be very emotional and that kind of a stuff. But as a in the business, as a person, you'll have to look up for the next step. So something has happened. Okay, what should I do for the next step? While you being emotional, you have to also have the action plan in mind. So to cut short and directly tell your answer, emotional will be there. The degrees will vary from person to person, and depending on the post, you will have to have a control over what kind of a person you are and what kind of a post you have. So that mix, you have to have a right balance. Then showing emotional, it is not really matter in any place.
Yes, sir. A question from our friend Fargana. She asked, why do many companies they are not ready to accept fresher candidates?
Okay, so there are two aspects to that. I will touch upon the first fact. Take the pandemic situation now. companies are not doing well. So the easiest thing to cut the cost cutting measure is you will not be able to throw out the people out who are already having some decent salary and number of years of service, because they are assets to the organization. Therefore, they will try to keep it. But the easiest thing you can cut is that don't take the freshers. So a reasonable 5%, 10% of the amount will go away. That is the basic fundamental which many of the companies do. When I say many of the companies do, those who are into manufacturing, those who are into relatively service-oriented projects and things of that nature. But what you said is not always true. Even in this kind of situation, the service companies have come to our colleges and they've picked up about close to 75% of the people. When I say this, it is the business which people can look beyond what is there now, or try to make some kind of business which you see as an opportunity in this situation. So there are two aspects. If company thinks in a correct manner and they have good people in taking the company to a next level, you will find the freshers taking up will still continue. But if the company is more dependent on government money and that kind of stuff, then they will have a trouble. So that is why if you are looking up a balance sheets of the companies now, uh, almost certain amount of money they take it and keep it in this kitty for this kind of activities. I can quote you a lot of good companies which has not even thrown out a single person during this time. There are companies which has paid 100% full salary, although in this kind of situation. There are companies which are shut down, but there are companies now made a lot of business. For example, Amazon, they looked up always opportunities in between this, and there especially about 5 to 10 companies have done exceptionally well in this kind of area. So if that company is not coming to your college, I'm sorry, you will not get a chance. But then you don't have to always be on your college. You can also look up for, because this open hiring has become mantra nowadays, because it's also a government norm now that maybe 65-70% they can go to colleges and pick up, and reasonably about 30% they have to give in the open market and pick up. But as I said, unless you have a right balanced skill set, it will be very difficult to get onto this. So answer to your question is yes, I partially agree with you, but that is not a fully correct statement. Companies do come pick up. The numbers might be little less, and again from year on year it changes. So maybe next year if the situation improves, the numbers will go high.
Yes, sir. So, a question from Deepali. What benefits does life skill offer?
Sorry, if you could repeat the question.
Yes, sir. What benefits does life skills offer?
Okay, my chancellor's word is always education for life. Education is for not for living. Most of us try to take education as for living. That is where a person like me also committed mistake, and then later we realize it is it's not right. Even at the age of about 50, I'm able to take a PhD and do it is because of that life skill set which has been given by Air Force to us. For example, I'll talk about only about 2-3 samples of life skills. I'm very happy to talk something on sense of belongingness. Sense of belongingness you can explain in any word. Probably virtual meaning I can explain and do it. I will give you a different connotation to sense of belonging, where even if you are a normal student, how the companies have accepted. We were all in services, and one fine morning, one of my colleagues left the job and joined some company in Bangalore, and he was not a very highly professional guy, but whereas he always feel I am part of that company. One of the day, what had happened on a holiday, he is living nearby. When he was going, the thing was on fire. Their company was on fire. So he immediately got onto the action. It was, I think, on Sunday, if I am not mistaken. It is not on any festival holiday. So first he rang up to, of course, the fire stations. Then he started calling almost all his colleagues, and then put about 5 to 10 people, and he knew exactly what is kept where. And then the fire broke. He has made up a priority. Okay, uh, we may not be able to save this, but this is more important. I'm able to save some financial documents and things like that, where where it is kept. So he was able to retrieve most important major documents, though 80% of the things went on fire. After some time, the everything got well, and the next the promotion board came. He was made to vice president. Almost there was a lot of kind of unhappiness from those people who are having career aspects, who have been gunning for this position from long time. They shown their little displeasure, where the company owner made it very clear and told, look, the day fire took place, all of us knew that there is a fire took place, but this person was there in action. I'm not called in. He came on his own. He made up his own team. He decided what to do, and he has decided to make groups and fight against each other, and brought it. And because of that, I'm today openly telling out close to 20 to 25% of my assets have been saved, which runs into crore. This I call it a sense of belongingness. Another example he quoted to that people is that all of us carry visiting cards, and then this person, when he goes along with president for some of the meetings, he always take president's visiting card also, but 5-10 with him, thinking that probably president might forget sometimes to take his cards. And when usually networking, when you talk to each other, you usually exchange the card, and suddenly he says, I'm not having the card. This guy used to take card and give it as president. No, president, I brought this card, probably you can give it to him. So some people call this as proactive, but I call this as sense of belongingness. It's very, very simple. So this life skills, all those things, we spoke on so many qualities. I'm not able to think of a better example than these things for a sense of belongingness. If you feel you are the owner of the company, although you are the lowest performer in that company will still accept you. So these are something which we'll have to learn and make as our part of life. And then you will find, helping each other. For example, suddenly your colleague will fall down. People, will leave. They will put him in the hospital and go. Maybe some people will take an extra initiative, go on a Sunday with the family, and then go and sit and talk to him for 5-10 minutes and come back. But that effect, you will come to know maybe after 6 months, when you are in trouble, that colleague will come and stand up at you. So these are something which are unwritten laws, unspoken, truth, which each and every one of us, especially students, have to build up. Although it has to be on, losing your personal comfort, but still it is worth it.
Yes, question from Muthu. Though they are skilled with knowledge and talents, how to overcome stammering during interview?
Okay, that's what I said. No, we have to go through a mock interview. Like public speaking, many of the time people have said that stand in front of a mirror and talk for 5 times, 10 times, 20 times. First, your script have to be ready perfectly, and you have to see the script whether it is matching with the situation. Words may not come out. As I said that, we were not good when we joined the Air Force. Obviously, we want to be at the back seat, because you can't, talk a single statement without committing error. That is fine. People have accepted us, and I also accepted. Next 20 years, I have to live in this situation whether I like it or not. So the survival question comes. This blabbering and perfection, all those things will vanish. Put your heart and soul into it. Understand from your inner conscious where you are committing mistake, and practice it. Automatically you will overcome. So if you have to go to an interview, tell your student, see, I'll tell you, interview process, as I brought out some time back, there are about 5 to 6 questions going to be there. Be sure. First, they will ask you what is your name, where are you from, why don't you tell about yourself. So when people say tell about yourself, it has to be crisp, and from 5 to 7 statements you should be able to tell whom you are. For example, if someone asks me, tell me about yourself. I will say I'm Wing Commander Balachandran, served 25 years in Air Force, 10 years with Amrita. Half of my thing is over. Then I will say I'm with siblings or some people, these are the thing. And in the past, I have done this job and this is what I'm doing and looking eagerly to be part of your organization. It can be completed in 5 to 7 statements. But if you're not very clear and that particular time, you will start one statement, then you lost words, then you look up for what should I do for the second statements. There you will get stuck. Other than the technical questions, everything is there almost in open book. So you are finished. Tell me about yourself. Obviously, you will go through your profile and ask you some questions on your technical side. If you are not able to tell, you would have done some projects. Prepare your projects well. Make sure you drive in such a way, navigate in such a way that the interviewer comes to your project and asks you questions. You can say, I'm sorry, sir, today somehow I'm not able to answer all your questions. Although I prepared well, somewhere down the lane, the day is not mine. I would be happy if you ask me some questions in my projects, because projects are done in a better manner. I'm sure that, I'll go back and get the questions. I'm sure I'll be in a position to answer you maybe sometimes later. Interviewer will also get onto your projects. But having said that, if you don't properly talk about your projects, then you are sunk. So to be honest, interview process is all about tell me about yourself, where are you, what is your career aspirations down the lane from 5 to 10 years, where do you want to stand, and what is your project, and if you have gone summer intern, what have you done in the summer intern, and what is your learning from that summer intern. And some people will keep challenging you to check your confidence level. So if you would have prepared on this line, whatever I've said, probably 2 to 3 times if you would have practiced, I don't think you will have problem in the interview process. Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. So next question from Priya. What is multiple intelligence?
Okay, I've put that in that slide. See, intelligence is one, multiple intelligence is one. A person need not be intelligent to be in multiple intelligence scenario. For example, as I said, common sense. If you have a habit of what is going to happen next, what is going to happen next, what is going to happen next, if you train your mind to be in that process, you have got multiple intelligence. For example, I'll give you an example so that what I'm trying to say, it will be very clear for you. All of you have been doing a lot of programs. Let's say you are calling a person for a guest lecture. The person has come. So the order is, as you said, first students will be seated. The people will come. They may be sitting in the front row, and a boy or a girl comes, whom we call it as master of ceremony. Maybe first a prayer song, and then there is a welcome. Then you call the people to the stage, and then you will give a bouquet or something to them, or shawl to them, and things like that. I put it in a very simple format, but to make this happen, there is a seriousness, sequence, and all have to be in their place. For example, simple bouquet. Giving a bouquet is the difficult task during this process. You know why? The girl or boy who is carrying the bouquet has to, maybe in a plate, it has to be kept in a proper way. Or if you are carrying that bouquet in your own hand and going to give it to a guest of honor, then where do you catch that bouquet? When you are giving it to the hand of the chief guest, he also should have some space to catch that. It requires a lot of practice, to be honest. We take it for granted, or sometimes you do an announcement and then start searching, people are not there. If there is a ceremony, it has to happen the way it is envisaged. There should not be any people running it in once the program started. That is the way you do in style. That I call it as multiple intelligence. For example, if you are the organizer of the program, let's say the program is going to start. So there is a checklist. The checklist will say, Have the students have been seated? Is the master of ceremonies available? Is the bouquet girls are available? Is the chief guest's place is properly kept? All the people have been made to silent and sit down. All the people have been told to put the mobile in a silence mode. The chief guest is coming on a particular way. Is there anybody standing on this way, or is there any crosstalk going on the outside? Because they may not be knowing in the side hall there is a program being taking place. Maybe program is going to be over. You are going to offer tea and some snacks. Whether the tea is ready outside, or tea there is something going to be late, so you have to continue the program for some time. All these things have to be put in an order, which I call it as multiple intelligence, which means having a control over a situation in which you are not expert, but you use your common sense and your skills to execute that program flawlessly. I call it as multiple intelligence. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. So one more question from Shipra. Once
Yeah.
we leave the university and get into the real world, do scores really matter? Marks.
Even degree don't matter. I from my experience, I am saying, because of course, as I said, our systems are made in such a way there is a process. Let us not discuss on a point where the process is right or wrong. I'm not getting into it. Okay, but there is a process on the path, which means if a company has to come and select you people, he will put certain conditions. He will say 6 CGPA and above, should have been having no arrears in the past at all. For me, all these things are rubbish. That's why I say I don't talk about system. Do you mean to say a person who has got 5 CGPA but passed all the exams is not worth? It is not. Unfortunately, in a college, you are measured on CGPA. Let's accept that fact. So if I have to get to a job, and if I know the what companies are expecting, which usually students, that is my crib, that students are not exposed to initial stages. What is the thing which company is expecting? That is why I extended this lecture for quite some time. If you know that, if you have a skill and if you fail, then it is a criminal offense. If you know what is expected out of company, you don't have it in you, which means you are not capable, then failing to develop that capability during this 3-4 years is also another criminal offense. So you should know what is expected. You know where you are. If you are better on what companies expect, then enjoy your company, enjoy your life in the college. Make sure that you minimum grade marks and things like that. You will flush through the companies. But if you are going to be not having that capability, when I say not having capability, not by birth, I am saying that you have the capability, but you have failed to understand and develop on that, which means a chance is coming to you, you are not fully utilizing that chance with the skill set. Then you have to go through this process and make sure that you get onto the company. Getting into a company is like getting a ticket into a movie hall. As simple as that. If a movie hall has got 500 seats, you may be 99th person to get into a movie hall, still you will see a movie. You may be a 500th person to get into a movie hall, still you will see a movie. A person who gone first also will see a movie. But there, all of you will see a movie. I'm giving that example. All of you will give equal opportunity in the company. Company will look you only from the aspect of what is your professional career. Are you doing this job? Do you have enough life skill set? Do you have sense of belongingness? Are you part of the company's policies? Are you part of the company making sure that company grows in a grower path? Are you a good employee of the company? Nobody even will ask you, did you pass out from which college? Until unless you keep jumping and telling, I am an engineer, I passed out from GCT, my CGPA is this. Yes, you will listen this small crap from some people who are not able to execute their job properly. So just to put the justice or just to overpower you, They will say, I am from IIT, I put 9.95. I don't think a guy with 9.9 is a better guy than our normal college with a guy who is 5.5. You and me are here to do a business. Let's talk on the business. Am I good or are you good? The foundation programs doesn't matter once you join into the college, once you join into it. So, once you join into the companies. Some companies do see it for promotional policies and things like that, but that are very, very rare now. Today, the world is changing. Today, the way people are taking, especially in the hardware part of IT companies, how the selections are done. Nobody asks you you are holding which degree. They will take you to a server room, put a person there, and they will tell him there will be a problem they'll create and tell you to sort out. You sort out, you are taken for the company for 7 lakhs job. Finished. You may not even join the college. You must have done a certification program, but you have done a practical certification program and you have developed that skill set in the hardware. So this all BTech, MTech, MBA doesn't matter. I did degree for doctorate for a very simple reason. I am part of an educational institution where doctorate, because of this AICTE norms and things like that, has become a kind of a mandatory element nowadays. So you have to have that. But for me, I feel I am doctorate from my age of 21, where I was able to sort out various problems of Air Force, which probably, to do that kind of a job, you require that analytical ability rather than having so many other qualities. But it is not on the table. So all these things are foundational things to get onto a company. As I said in a movie hall, once you get in, only your talent matters, and how do you behave with your colleague matters. Nothing else matters. Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. So, another question. What are the current entrepreneurship fields?
Oh, I would always, whosoever has asked this question, look up for EDDA, Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. Each college has got a entrepreneurship cell where they conduct 3 programs in a year, every year. One is called Entrepreneurship Awareness Program, where it is a 3-day program where you are exposed to what is entrepreneurship. That's it. Then we have a faculty development program, and there is another program for about 2 months where at the end of the program you have to start your business. So these are some of the avenues which have been created by Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. Of course, it is by Government of India through EDDI. So each and every college have got that. If you are not having this facility in your college, look up for the other colleges, because all these programs have become almost now part of the regular educational institutions. Amrita also conducts these programs every year, and then we do give a paper ad, and I will share the number of the persons who are responsible for this. Be in touch with them. They will tell you there are ample of opportunities available. You have to be ready to become an entrepreneur. That is the way the programs are going on now, because we have realized that we have been lagging in this particular aspect for a very long time. Now government has given a lot of schemes to go through this, and then I'm sure if you have that skill set fire, you'll be able to do it. But understand these programs where a lot of people will come and talk to you. Some big business leaders will come and talk to you. Some people started business in big way but lost miserably will also come and speak to you as to where did they gone wrong and things like that. Some people who have fixed a particular job, refuse to change, also will come and speak to you. And then how did they miserably fail? Where they fail to adopt change also will speak to you. So all this becomes a kind of experience for you, and then probably you will be able to make up your own decision from those talks. Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. So, a question from Ashwin. What is the powerful benefits of being patient while having a problem with seniors in office?
Very good question, because see, there are 2 aspects to this. As I said, when I joined Indian Air Force, we sign a bond and say that till my death I will serve for my country. A lot of classes in that, minimum you have to serve for 20 years, and then life changes and your father passes away, mother passes away, a lot of things happening at the hometown. So you would like to come back. So you have to apply to the government, and then government takes its own decision. Unlike here, you don't like your boss, just give a letter and within 1 month you are out. It doesn't take place in Ahmedabad. I applied at the end of 20th year and I got out after 25th year, which means my application was waiting for clearance from Government of India for 5 years. Okay, here is the actual thing. Now every 3 years we get posted out and we go to various places. I was in Gwalior, Kanpur, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, some places in Kanpur and things like that, and then probably into Leh, Ladakh, on the hill areas and regions and things like that, where there is a problem of survival. You will find such kind of problems will not come, because all of us are trying to save ourselves first, make sure we save others. All those things are there, and tough environmental conditions and things like that. So most of your time goes on this. Where there are comfort places, you will find getting along with the senior, and if senior becomes a very tough guy or a irresponsible guy, I would put it that way, you have no choice, because I can't come out of that. I have to live with him for 2 years, 3 years, and pray like hell to the God. Either he gets posted out fast or I get posted out fast. One of the thing has to happen. Till such time, I have to be patient. So the easiest method to sort out this is to have a one-on-one talk with the boss. Most of the time, we fail to understand. However crooked he is, however idiot he is also a simple human being. Our egos have taken up to such a level that we are not ready to talk to him, or he is not ready to talk to anyone. Is true. Okay. Now, as I said, somebody asked a question that how patience will help you out. Don't show your aggressiveness first. Let's understand this first. If you are in a company and you are working under someone, that person is responsible for certain activities. He carries most of the pressures from the top players, and some people are good that they don't pass on to the next junior level. They cushion. I would always love to play that role. Get the beating from the front. Don't pass on to your junior. Half of your team will be with you. Okay, but some people, because of their mental toughness, anything comes to them, they don't want to show that they are responsible. They will immediately pass on to the juniors, which creates a conflict among the people. So the conflict management is a different topic altogether. We can have a discussion on that. There are different methods of sorting out this conflicts, but to sort out conflict, one has to give up. That has to be you, whether you like it or not, because at the end of the day, the effect is on you. So if the effect has to come down, let's say the guy is tough, he is not talking to you or is kicking you, look out for a situation where it is conducive to speak to you. In uniform, usually in the evenings in the party where ladies are there, kids are there, we are there, we tend to take that chance as our chance to speak to the senior, because the environment is good. He is not in office, he is not in uniform, he is not tightly holding his collar, and therefore we find that situations are the better situations to resolve this conflict or to resolve our own misunderstanding. Who knows whether he is having misunderstanding or you are having, I don't know. But in a civil scenario, you don't meet other in the kind of social gatherings. Very rarely you get on to that. So you will have to look for some easy situations where you ask him, sir, I would like to talk on certain issues. Could you give me for 5 minutes or 10 minutes of that nature? Then when you go inside, don't touch his ego. First point, we always start with, sir, I've done this, you have done this, that's why I got angry, that's why you got angry. Please understand, you are going for a peace finding solution. It is not India Pakistan LOC problem. Let's understand that, where I have to win or you have to win. It is a situation where we try to understand each other. I am sure 95% of the people are understandable people. There are 5% crooked people, crooked bosses who will be on you. That's your tough luck. Then either you leave or he leaves. That's the only solution. But 95% of the problems are solvable problems where you can see, you open up yourself, and then if let's say let's give a situation. I am not having a good thing with my boss. I take a permission from him. Honestly, I go to him. I will tell him, sir, can you keep all the office job for a moment outside? Then I'll say, sir, I am Balachandran talking to you as an individual guy. Don't take me as a deputy director of Amrita Vishwavidyapitham. I am having certain issues with you or some problems. Please correct me if I am wrong. I will not say, sir, I found you doing this. I find you doing this. This is not accepting your status, and this is how you have behaved, and that is why I behaved. I'm sorry. That will never come to a conclusion. I will put a first word, say, sir, this is my understanding of the whole situation. I find you are not happy with me. I find you always pointing out me. I find you when I try to talk something, it appears to me that you are cutting me always to prove that I am wrong and you are right. Hope my understanding is wrong. Could you please explain to me why this kind of thing is taking place? Now this person is caught. Either he has to do his business ethics to show that, no, I am not like that and things of that nature. But mind you, many people will not do that because here is a problem. The problem was with you now, you are handed over to that person. And he is your senior, he has to find a solution, obviously. So he will probably tell, no, that is not, your understanding is wrong. I never been there. So you can go into slowly nitty-gritty. Sir, for example, on last Friday, we had a meeting. I started this and you mentioned to this. It appeared to me that I prepared this based on whatever findings you have gathered and things like that. Whereas yours was an open talk and a gray statement without having some basics and things like that. Could you tell me, am I wrong now? I will correct myself. So you will find that person will get caught into it. Even if he's a crooked guy, next time, if he's trying to do something wrong to you, he will think twice, thrice, 4 times before doing that, because you have already put a full stop or check to that. Because he knows the moment he does something wrong, which is not ethically right, he knows that you will come to him. You will go to him. So 90% of the problem gets, but if you don't initiate this process at all, you be silent and accept whatever he says, that fellow also will think that, oh, I am an autocratic guy, these guys accepting, let me give back to them whenever there is a chance available. But if you put the process in the right place and show it him, sir, look, I am an individual, you are individual. We are not against each other. Our relationship here is a boss and a colleague relationship, or you are a boss and I'm working under you. That's the relationship. Let's not have anything on that relationship wrong. You will, I'm sure evening he will call you to a dinner, both of you will have a dinner, and probably most of the misunderstandings will go away. Accept that. Even after that, there is a no change, accept. Patience will give you some time and patience will take you to it. At least people will understand you are not a guy or problem creator in an organization. They will understand you and you will find your friendship with other people will be much better than what it was earlier. Okay. So patience will give you even if you are with the wrong guys. Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Sir, one final question from my side.
Yeah, please, ma'am.
Now you became an inspiration for so many young minds. I'm much curious to know who is your inspiration, sir, because your dressing and all it is related with some of the great leaders of our nation.
Uh,
So,
okay, ma'am, don't go into any of those details. This is the second time putting on this overcoat. Usually, I used to be, since we have been in services, there are certain etiquettes they have given to us, and that I would like to always follow and go through. Inspirations are, I can't tell you a person is the inspiration for me, because there are many people who have given life to me, to be honest. As I said, that I get my first kick and my ego was hurt was when a pilot told me that you are unfit for your job. He was my first inspiration, because although I felt bad and I wanted to kick him back on that particular day, but when we over a period of time we matured, who has brought something in me out is that pilot, and that pilot is good friend of mine even today. But I had a lot of qualities which I could not bring out because the situation never allowed me to give it. And as an idiot, I also never, taken that out. With 2 years, today we are able to complete PhD and have a reasonable job and a reasonable, kind of life in this society is purely because very many people and each and every time gives us lesson. After joined Amrita, I am very proud to put it on records. Our Chancellor Mata Amritanandamayi has become my role model, my guru, because she I don't know how many of you have seen her, how many of you have met her. She comes 2 days to Coimbatore, and she has been always on trip for 6 months, 8 months to Europe and Western countries, and probably in our own country for about 3 to 4 months. She comes to the stage close to 18 hours. She sits there listening to the people's problem, listening to them. She is known as hugging saint and completely, passion to each and every one of them come to her. She treats each and every one of them with the same care what she treats with each and every. She keeps telling that there are people who comes and ask her, I want to get married. What would be the good thing? That people come and ask, I'm doing business. I want to improve my business. There are some people come and ask, I want to surrender yourself. There are some people come and say that I want to come to spirituality. For her, each and every one of them is same, and that is being reflected in our university, and that is the reason that probably we are going from strength to strength. And today we are, as per the NIRF ranking, we are the fourth in the country, thanks to our Chancellor Mata Amritanandamayi Devi's the entire life she has given to the whole world. Even to the pandemic time, there are a lot of things have taken place. She has contributed in her own method silently. She has contributed 100 crore. No spiritual leader has contributed such a big amount for Clean Ganga project. She has made a lot of houses for the people. Her whole life is a kind of an open book where each and every one of us can read and see. When I joined this university, I suddenly realized this atmosphere here is completely different. Probably all the senior people don't take salary and serve for 20 years, 25 years. Students are our people. We learn from even students. Our main aim is to change a student into a good citizen of India, so that he becomes a good citizen. He creates a peaceful life for the tomorrow's generation. And I see a lot of people. This is my challenge to each and everyone. Wherever I go, also I keep talking that you can come to my university, which is about 600-acre campus, 500 to 600 campus. If you find any one person smoking a cigarette inside our campus, I will quit this job right now. This is the challenge which I tell people. Last 10 years, I have not seen anybody who is having a cigarette inside the campus. So this is how the system is built up. They're all great gurus like Sri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi. So last, maybe first 1 or 2 years, I know I first joined here obviously for survival, but subsequently I realized this is a great place to live, and we try to kind of take some better qualities we learn from her and try to pass on. And that is the reason that today I wholeheartedly accepted this and willing to spend as much time as possible with the students. As one student changes, one family of India is gaining. So that is a simple process. So today my guru is Sri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi. I proudly say that. But many people were guru as part of my team right from FOs. Even in the process of educational side, many people have taught me, gave me inspirations, and that is why I am able to do what I am today. And I put everything into the bountiful blessings of all this nature, and then we want to give back to nature, and it's a wonderful experience. Thank you for asking such a question.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure this session will leave a remarkable wisdom in the young
Just,
minds.
just a minute, ma'am. If people noticed, someone has asked, how do you control your emotional? If people would have noticed, I became emotional in between. I don't know how many of them noticed, but I just came out. It's a
Yes,
inner self consciousness over a period of time you develop. So I think I've answered the question. So we have to control the emotions. Of course, it's a great experience. Thank you so much.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And this session will leave a remarkable wisdom in the young minds, also enlighten the clear view regarding the career and the real meaning of the education. You are really the light of the day, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And nothing, it's all God spoken through me. And we have brought nothing to this world. We are not going to carry anything from this world. So let's learn from here, share, and enjoy the happiness amongst the people. Thank you so much. And I'm very happy. And my humble pranams to Dr. Subramani sir, who has given this opportunity. And of course, all the faculty. Haripriya has been with me for last 3 4 days in making sure this programs become successful. Of course, Bhagiraj sir, Malati ma'am, all of you, thank you so much, and let's pray and hope we leave a better world for the next generation to live. Thank you so much, and Jai Hind.
Yes, sure, sure. Thankfulness is the beginning of gratitude. Gratitude is the completion of thankfulness. Let me invite Ms. M. Parimala, Assistant Professor, Department of Microbiology, to formally propose vote of thanks.
Gratitude for the present moment and the fullness of life now is the true prosperity. I could express my gratitude towards our resource person, Wing Commander Dr. A. Balachandran, Deputy Director Amrita Vishwavidyabham for the sharing his boundless knowledge and precious time to nourish and nurture the students. I could also like to thank our management for their support and staff members of various
Live
colleges
streaming
for
is
their
on.
support. My heartily thanks to the technical team and non-teaching staff for their support. Finally, I thank all the students for their cooperation and listening throughout the session. I hope this session was packed with knowledge and serve you all later on too. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, Parimala. Let us meet tomorrow for day 4 program at 11 a.m. for this 10-day state level student development program. Thank you all. Thank you, sir. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much.